Hi, this is a video on advanced factoring. We use advanced factoring when A is not 1 and when there's no GCF. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is identify our A, B, and C. In this case, A is 7, B is 40, C is negative 12. First thing we need to do is multiply A times C together. In this case, we're going to multiply 7 times negative 12, giving us a negative 84. Now we need to list the factors of negative 84. 1 times 84, 2 times 42, 3 times 28, 4 times 21, 6 times 14, and 7 times 12. Looking at that pair, we want to choose the pair that will add up to a 40 when I subtract them. Okay, so I'm going to be using this pair right here, 2 and 42. And because I need that 40 to be positive, I need for that 42 to be positive. So I'm going to put 7n squared plus 42n minus 2n minus 12. All I did was replace the 40 with these two terms. I did not change the problem at all. Now what I'm going to do is now I'm going to group the first two in a set of parentheses, and I'm going to group the second two in a second set of parentheses. Now all I'm going to do is look at 7n squared and 42n. I'm going to ask myself what number divides into both of those. Well, in this case, 7 divides into 7, and 7 also divides into 42. And remember, in the first set, we also have a common variable. N divides into both of those. It's always a single n. Okay, so now I'm actually going to do the dividing. I'm going to put the 7n out front, and I'm going to divide. 7n squared divided by 7n, I get 1n. 42n divided by 7n, I get a positive 6. Now I'm going to do the same exact thing to the second half of the problem. So now I'm looking at the negative 2n and the negative 12. What number divides into both of these? In this case, it's 2. But not only is it 2, but it's negative 2. Remember, the first number in the parentheses, we always want to be positive. So now I'm going to put the negative 2 down, and I'm going to do some dividing. Negative 2n divided by negative 2, I get 1n. Negative 12 divided by negative 2, I get positive 6. And remember, this method is really nice because it has a built-in check. And what should that check be? These two parentheses should be a match. If they are a match, you have done the problem correctly. So we're going to bring out that match. So we're going to factor out the common term again, n plus 6, in the first set of parentheses. And the second set of parentheses is going to be the 7n and the minus 2. And that is how you factor using this method when A is not 1 and there's no GCF. Let's do one more problem. First thing we do is identify A, B, and C. A in this case is 3. B in this case is negative 25. C in this case is going to be negative 18. Remember, we're going to look at these three. 3, negative 25, and negative 18. They have no common factor. So now we are ready to multiply a times c. So when I multiply a times c, I get the answer of negative 54. Now I want to go ahead and do the factors of 54. 1 times 54 is 54. 54 divided by 2 is 27. 54 divided by 3 is 18. And 54 divided by 6 is 9. Okay. Now we want to look at which pair adds up to 25 by subtracting, because that 18 is negative. So in this case, we're going to be using the 27 and the 2. Okay, so we're going to rewrite that. And because we want that negative 25, it's going to be a negative 27. So I'm going to rewrite it as 3x squared minus 27x plus 2x minus 18. Now, after I've rewritten it, remember that these two terms is just this negative 25 rewritten differently. Now I'm going to group the first two together. I'm going to group the second two together. So I'm going to look at the first two and say to myself, what do 3x squared and negative 27 have in common? They both have a 3. They both can divide out a 3. They can also both divide out an x. Now I'm going to do the dividing. 3x goes out front. 3x squared divided by 3x is 1x. Negative 27x divided by 3x is negative 9. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the second set of parentheses. This time I can factor out a 2. And because that 2 is positive, I'm going to keep my 2's positive. So I'm going to put a plus and a 2 here. Now I'm going to divide. 2x divided by 2 is once again x. Negative 18 divided by 2 is negative 9. Remember, this has a built-in check system. These two parentheses shouldn't be a match. Now we're going to factor out that match. So I have x minus 9 as my first set of parentheses. And my second set of parentheses would be 3x plus 2. So now you have factored using that AC model. Remember, AC model is used whenever A is not 1 and there is no GCF.